The story continues as Kane's class gathers on the practice field for a lesson on summoning magic. Before they start their tour calls Kane, the guy assumes that he will be told to study on his own again because he's just too overpowered. However, the teacher rather alerts him that he can participate in that day's activities since they are not using attack magic. He is happy to hear this and excitedly joins his classmates as their madam informs them that she has brought a specialist to tutor them. Grat introduces himself as one of the palace maid ages. He gets right into the lesson explaining that there are two types of summoning magic. One avenue is to establish a bond with the monster and form a contract with it. The other way is to summon one from a magic circle and establish a contract. Kane figures that his contract with Haku and Jean was a result of the first type. Grad informs them that they will be tested on their magic circle summoning. During the lesson, the mage discloses that even if they manage to summon a monster but fail to form a contract for whatever reason, it will quickly disappear. He provides them with papers with magic circles that will aid them while summoning. The first 3 students step up and summon cute animals that rush to them to form a pact. The next guy sees this and gets excited to summon his creature. To his surprise, it is a fearsome beast that startles everyone. He demands the creature to form a bond with him, but it just smugly dismisses him before disappearing. Grad points out that the lad didn't have enough magic to make it submit. However, he comments that it is impressive that he was able to summon such a fierce beast and encourages him to keep training hard because one day he will be able to form that contract. This gives the boy confidence. Kane is called up next to summon. He places the piece of paper on the floor and pours as much of his magic into the circle as possible. He worries that he might summon a monster like he did when he was a lot younger. Grad assures him that if he can't form a pact with whatever he summons, it will leave just like his classmates did. He continues hoping that he can summon something that can play with Haku and Jean. As the light shines, Grab begins to panic at the power being emitted from the circle. It even knocks Kane back. Everyone is shocked to see a demon casually sitting. It introduces itself as the Prince of Darkness. As it wonders why a human has summoned him, Kane realizes that he has gone overboard again and summons a flash spell that blinds everyone. Since the demon called himself the Prince of Darkness, Kane is worried that he might be on the same side as Aaron. The prince realizes that it was Kane that summoned him and checks his stats with his appraisal skill. As he marches towards the young noble, he takes a defensive stance while drawing his sword. This causes the demon to bow an apology for being so rude. After seeing Kane's stats, he submits himself, willing to serve him as his underling as he pleads for his life to be spared. Kane is taken aback by his submission. The Prince of Darkness offers to sign a contract with him and lets his potential master know that he can destroy a nation on command. The prince even puts the full might of the demon clan at Kane's disposal, but he tells him that he doesn't need those services. The demon formally introduces himself as Seth. He can be summoned at any time when the pact is completed. Kane pleads for him to just address him by his name and not by the chosen one title. With the contract activated, Seth excuses himself. Grat asks his student if the guy he just summoned called himself the Prince of Darkness. Kane quickly cuts him off and notifies him that he couldn't form a contract with whatever he summoned, so he left right away. The mage takes it at face value as he brings an end to the lesson. Kane is happy, thinking that he managed to cover the incident up, but shortly he is summoned by the king. After Grab makes a report on what he witnessed, the monarch and his cronies stand before him as they demand to know exactly what happened. Kane immediately begins to spill the beans, informing them that he summoned the Prince of Darkness. This takes them all by surprise. The king knows of his shenanigans and wants to know what transpired. They go into a frenzy when he confesses that he formed a contract with him. The king begins to admonish him for not showing restraint, as the prince could have easily destroyed the royal capital in a blink of an eye if he had gone on rampage. Kane apologizes and explains that all he did was put his magic into the circle, but he kept pulling more out. The mage wonders just how much magical power the noble boy must have to be able to summon the Prince of Darkness. The king speculates that his encounter with the first king might have increased Kane's magic. The monarch orders him to show them how his insane stats are looking now, but before he does so, the king orders Grat that what he's about to see must never be spoken outside the room, so he should consider it a state secret. This means that he will be bodied if he decides to take the route of Julian Assange and leak this information. Kane opens it into their surprise eyes. He is now a demagogue with immeasurable stats. The mage begins to bow to him, which makes him uncomfortable. The king worries that he might destroy the empire, but Kane assures him that it is not a possibility. He just wants them to treat him as they always have. This puts the king at ease. He confesses that with those stats, if Kane had asked for him to hand over the kingdom, they would have done it without question. He asks Scrat if he now understands why he told him that what he was about to see was a state secret. The monarch informs Kane that he will arrange an audience soon and make him a discount. This means he will oversee his talent for him to govern how he sees fit. If he can manage it successfully, he will announce his engagement to the two princesses, and Miss Silk. The town will be near the royal capital to make things easier for him. The king believes that a man who cannot protect a single house or town can hope to save a nation. Kane can't reject the offer, so he just gracefully accepts it. He heads home and informs Sylvia of his recent promotion, and she's excited for her master. As she congratulates him, the maid decides to make a feast for them to enjoy in celebration. However, his butler interrupts to bring terrible news. Kane's father just received urgent word from his older son Jean regarding their hometown of Gracia. Signs of an onslaught have been observed in the forest of monsters. Kane quickly makes his way back to gather more information. He has an audience with his big brother, who explains that there has been a significant increase in adventurers being attacked by monsters in the forest over the past months. In response to this, high-ranking adventurers were sent to investigate, and they reported that the number of monsters roaming in the forest has grown and turned more hostile. This mirrors the incident that occurred a few decades ago when the monsters went savage and left the confines of the forest to attack the city. Based on the past onslaughts that have been recorded, the current state of the forest is similar to that time. Jean has contacted their father to send backup, but since they can't say for certain it's an onslaught, they are unable to mobilize fully. Kane offers to look around the forest. Jean is a little reluctant to let his brother take on such a task since he's his boss now. Kane shows him his A-rank guild card. He also reminds Jean that he has already single-handedly defeated a red dragon in the past. This put his mind at ease. Kane decides to first head to the town's Adventurers Guild to get more information on the situation. The receptionists are looked down on him because he's a kid till he presents his A-rank card. Rudy hears the commotion and apologizes for her subordinate's behavior. She gives him an update on the state of the forest as injured adventurers fly all over the place. She believes that the signs are pointing to an upcoming onslaught. Their discussion is interrupted when Millie and Nina enter. He's surprised to see his former master around. The guild has asked them to come as they have put out a call to all high-ranking adventurers. They have already experienced the forest, so they inform him that the monsters inside are stronger and they move in groups. This is what stopped them from moving deeper. Nina informs Kane that her brother and his wife are also on their way to give support. He is happy to hear that Claude and Lena are coming, but he decides to go ahead and check out the forest for himself. Everyone expresses their worries given his status, but he assures them that he's strong enough. He makes his way to the forest and summons Haku and Jin. Both creatures pounce on him, excited to see him after so long, but they are still snobby to each other. He informs them of the mission and orders them to alert him if they sense anything strange. Kane uses his search skill, but he gets blocked and he can feel that something is watching him. They defeat the monsters as they proceed deeper into the forest, but Kane still feels uneasy, so he summons Seth to help him investigate the forest as his search skill is not working. The Prince of Darkness can feel that something with an overwhelming presence is beyond where they stand. He also reports that many monsters are trying to reach this presence. There are many monsters in his homeland, but what is happening in this forest is abnormal since the creatures are high level too. Kane points out that it could be big trouble if they get to the city. To get a better idea of what they are facing, Seth suggests that he summons one of his subordinates who specializes in investigations. The prince calls Dalmatia, who gets straight to work and unleashes his insects. This triggers ultra high level monsters to spring up from the woodwork. Kane and his familiars team up and expertly take them out. Dalmatia is impressed with the display of strength. He gathers the defeated creatures on his back and decides to return to the city while the other two carry on their probes. He arrives back at the guild hall to show them the monsters and inform them of what he has found so far. His former master is shocked as they have never seen creatures of this level before. They are either a rank or S-rank. Claude and Lena barge in and are also surprised by the catch. Everyone agrees that at these levels of monsters reach the town, they will be in trouble. All the while, Seth and Dalmatia have reached a point where the presence is trying to intimidate them, warning them not to come closer. The prince takes it as a challenge, so they decide to proceed forward. It is revealed that the entity is Eren. He can sense that the people approaching are not followers of Xenom. The demons arrive and are shocked to see the number of monsters that have gathered. Eren senses this as the perfect opportunity, so he orders them to rampage and devour the humans. The guards at the city watchtower see the huge cloud of dust being kicked up by the monster and sound the alarm. Seth has already returned to inform them of the onslaught that has started. Cain orders Rudy to tell his older brother and pleads with Claude and Lena to assemble the adventurers. He informs everyone that he will go ahead with his friends while the others join later. Seth is moved to hear that Cain sees him as a friend. Their moment is interrupted by Tijuana, captain of the Cheval Recorder and one of Cain's fiancées. Garm has called them to help assist during the onslaught. Her unit is behind, but she rushed ahead so that she can see Cain. She wants to follow him into the forest, but he pleads for her to protect the city. Cain dashes with Seth back to the woodlands where they joined Almatia in defeating the first wave. As the monsters overflow from the forest, Cain is certain that it's the work of Eren. The evil god watches, unhappy that Xenom's chosen follower has finally joined the fray. That brings the episode to an end.